Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be kicking off our discussion of open source algo trading frameworks. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the best way to explain it is to start with a few different examples of frameworks that I'll be discussing. So here is a list of various popular trading frameworks that are available, depending on whether you're interested in trading cryptocurrency or whether you're trading equities. So the first trading bot framework I'll be discussing is Freqtrade, which is a popular open source trading bot based on indicators. And you can see the website here at freqtrade.io. And I also have this running right now in the cloud on my own server. And so this provides a user interface for managing your trading bot. And if I go to trade here, you can see I can monitor all the different trading pairs. I can see my daily trading stats. So you can see how I deployed this, looks like 4 days ago, and I've had it running 24/7, and you can see how much money it's making or losing. And so you can see the first day it's up $6.75, lost $4, up $3, up 97 cents. This is just running with a small amount of money. And so you can see the balance here. It's just about $600 that I have trading right here, and it's staking $100 at a time on any of the different currencies, depending on whether it runs into the signal that is defined in the strategy. And so you can easily see your daily stats, your balances, your performance. So you can see all of the trades are profitable for these pairs, except for Ethereum, which is a big loser right now. And you can also do a variety of different things from this web user interface when using Freqtrade. So you can stop and start the bot, you can pause it, you can shut it down, you can check out a dashboard to see your cumulative profit, and you can also chart various trading pairs on different time frames, and you can also monitor the logs. So rather than SSHing into the machine, you want to see if your trading bar is running, whether trades are actually successfully being executed, how you expect them to be, whether there's any timeout or things you need to fix, and so forth. So this logging functionality is really nice. And as I mentioned, you can log into this from the web, and it also has support for controlling the bot via Telegram, which is pretty cool. So the first trading bot framework I'll be discussing in this series is Freqtrade, and I'll get started with that in the next video. So that one will be all about Freqtrade, how to get it up and running on your local machine, how to implement a basic strategy, and how to deploy that to the cloud using Docker, and all that sort of stuff. So I'll give you a complete tutorial of how to use Freqtrade. So Freqtrade is just one example of a bot trading framework, just like there's many different web application frameworks and many different databases out there to run your application on top of. There's a lot of different trading frameworks available, and there's different pros and cons to each one of them. You might want to try each of them out, see which one you understand a bit better. So I know some people find VectorBT confusing, some people have found Backtrader confusing, and so forth. So different frameworks will resonate with different people. And so I'll be trying out a variety of these. So Freqtrade will be the first one I do a deep dive into in the next video. I'll also be taking a look at Trade. So if you watched earlier in the year, I did a live stream. So here's the website for Trade, which is another Python-based package with a Vue, I believe it's a Vue.js user interface as well. And so it provides a similar functionality where you can backtest, run your strategy, fetch data, optimize, and deploy your strategy live. It's open source. It has a Discord, it has a community, and has some of the same functionality as Freqtrade. And so I need to try this one out, and I'll document that process and share that with you and let you know what I think. I'm also going to take a look at Hummingbot, which is a little bit different. So if you look at the example strategies here, rather than using indicators, you'll see a lot of examples of like this AMM arbitrage, hedge, liquidity mining, perpetual market making, pure market making, and so forth. Also interesting with this one is that it supports decentralized exchanges. So some of these frameworks, you just hook them up to Binance or FTX or whatever your exchange is, or Coinbase. But this one you can connect, it looks like, to Uniswap, SushiSwap, Trader Joe, and all these other things that you may have used before, depending on how much experience you have with trading crypto. So I'll take a look at this functionality. I think this will be a nice different area to explore. So those are the 3 open source crypto trading bots I wanted to explore and do tutorials on. I also want to talk a bit more about some of these stock trading engines here. And so Quant Connect has this open source lean algo trading engine. So you can see it here at lean.io, and you can see This is a popular algo trading framework right now. So I want to do a series of videos on Quant Connect. A lot of people have been asking about this one, so I'm going to definitely dive into this. One thing here is that it is a company, so even though it has this open source engine, and I think you can run it on your own, I think a lot of the benefits come from actually paying for a monthly subscription for this. The other set of tools I want to discuss are the Quantopian set. So as some of you may know, this was very popular years ago, but then the company was acquired by Robinhood and shut down, and then a lot of these tools got abandoned. Some people have forked these and continued to maintain them, but it doesn't have that same commercial backing behind it that used to lead to all of these different contributions. But nonetheless, a lot of this stuff is still in use, and there's a lot of demand for how to use Zipline Trader, AlphaLens, Pifolio. These are some good tools that have been used and tested extensively, so I want to do some tutorials on that regardless, and maybe even get involved in helping maintain some of these in the future. Finally, I wanted to give the example of Backtrader, which I've already discussed enough on the channel, so I'm probably not going to go into it that much more anymore, but Backtrader is kind of cool in that you can write a strategy class and then switch to a live trading mode and trade your account. So I've seen this done with Interactive Brokers and Alpaca, who is a sponsor of the channel, so please check them out using the link below. So those were a few examples of different trading frameworks that are out there and available for you to use, but I still didn't really discuss like why you'd want to use one of these in the first place. Well, a bunch of people have messaged me over time and said, Larry, you've discussed all these different topics like backtesting and live trading and how to do data visualization and how to query a database and so forth, but I still don't see how to bring this all together and take my strategy and bring it live without learning way too much coding and way too much about infrastructure. So the idea behind these different trading frameworks is they handle a lot of the different choices and design decisions for you. You still have to know how to code, right? You still need to implement your strategy in some way, but there's a lot of things maybe you shouldn't have to worry about, like how to design a database, how to set up a server, how to install all these different dependencies like TAlib and all these different things. And so these frameworks are basically run by a community of open source developers, and they've all faced these same type of problems and have come together and packaged them up into a common set of solutions that different people can use. And so some of the benefits are organization, right? You don't need to think about what different folder, your back tests go in, where you store your database, what the table structure looks like, how you're actually going to package this up in a Docker container and deploy it to a server, all those type of things. All those different things should be the same for all of your strategies. And so they should all be packaged into a common set of tools that we can all use. So the primary benefit of using these packaged up solutions is that they save time, right? You don't want to reinvent the wheel. You want to just follow a common set of standards that other people are using. So the common problems this solves are, for instance, data fetching and storing. So I might want to fetch data from an exchange. Do I really need to write my own scripts to do that? Or is there a common set of packages that I can use and I just pass it a parameter like 5 minutes and my API key, and it'll just fetch the data I need? Backtesting and live trading. Do I really need to write a separate backtest and then rewrite that script to live trade it, or can I use the same strategy class to do that? Monitoring open orders, right? Do I need to have something running in a loop to check on the status of my order, whether those orders were filled or not, whether they're canceled, whether there's timeouts, monitoring my account balance to make sure I'm not trading more money than I actually have. All those types of little situations are handled by these frameworks. User interfaces and data visualization. So I've done some UI and data visualization in JavaScript. Some people are like, oh, I just know Python. I don't want to learn all the JavaScript to do that. And so these packages have user interfaces built in. They already have JavaScript, Vue.js interfaces where you can see charts, you can see performance and little graphs and pie charts and so forth to see your portfolio allocation. That's all built in. So you just need to write your strategy and let it run, and it handles the rest for you. Error handling and logging. It's one thing I don't spend enough time on this channel, but there's all types of things that can go wrong when you're bringing one of these trading bots live. You can have a connection timeout, maybe a service or API goes down, maybe any number of network connection issues or database connection issues could happen, and you need to properly catch these errors and also log them so that you know if there's any problems so that you can revisit them in the future. These frameworks have logging and error handling built in. And finally, performance metrics is another example. You might just want to see how different strategies performed, see how they perform day by day, have all these stats aggregated so that you can just look at them easily on a dashboard, and that's all handled for you as well. So these frameworks can save you a lot of time by handling a lot of the common functionality that's needed for you. In addition to saving time, another benefit I wanted to list is you have a common language for discussing these types of trading bots. You have a common set of design patterns and a community where you can discuss these same patterns and concepts with other developers. And so an analogy I like to give for all this is to compare it to various web frameworks out there. And so you might be a Python developer who uses a framework like Flask or Django or Fast API, or maybe you're a JavaScript developer and you use React.js or Vue.js or any other number of frameworks out there, and they all have certain patterns they follow. So if I'm talking to a Ruby on Rails developer, they might say, oh, I'm using an active record pattern in a controller with these routes, right? And that means something to those developers. With just those few words, you know a lot about what I mean. Likewise, if you join one of these communities and base your strategies around one of these frameworks, and you discuss it with other Freqtrade or Trade or QuantConnect developers, you have a common set of language and help that you can use because you've all structured your projects in a similar way. So no one has to study every single piece of code you've written. You obviously follow certain design patterns. You follow a certain set of organization so they know and can follow your project, and you can share it with other people. So those are some benefits of using one of these frameworks. But I also wanted to give a couple of drawbacks and some reasons why you might not want to use a framework. So the first is control. Some people just want to control every aspect of what they're doing. They don't trust this code written by someone else, this entire framework. They're worried maybe there's some code in the background doing something unintended, or maybe you care about execution speed. Some people have left comments saying, oh, you should do everything in C++, and you're welcome to do that. If you can implement all this stuff in C++, then knock yourself out. So control is one reason why you might want to run and write everything from scratch. A second reason why you might not want to use a framework is you want a low-level understanding of what you're doing, right? A lot of people try a framework but don't really understand the underlying concepts, and that's the case with like databases, for instance. A lot of people use like an object relational mapper or a database library, but they don't even know SQL, right? Or they use a JavaScript framework like React, but they don't really know JavaScript very well. They're just copying these patterns without knowing how to implement it themselves using a lower level language or a lower level of abstraction. So I think it's important to first try things in your own way, and then once you run into common problems and understand what you're doing a little bit more, I think it's okay to jump into a framework that's handled a lot of these problems for you, as long as you understand what's going on underneath the hood. Another possible concern with using a framework is, and this applies mainly to these commercial frameworks like QuantConnect, some people are just really concerned about intellectual property and they don't want to take their code or their algorithm. Maybe they think they have some great strategy or something. They don't trust putting it on a cloud service. They think someone's going to steal it or something like that, or there's going to be security issues, or it's getting sold, their data is getting sold to someone else, and so forth. So that's a concern that some people have. Another possible consideration is maintenance and upgrades. So a lot of times even though these frameworks are very stable, you'll see there's new versions that sometimes have breaking changes, or you'll see Freqtrade here has a strategy migration for the latest version. And so you need to make all these changes to your existing strategy that was already running. And so it's important to keep up with all the different upgrades and maintenance and stuff involved. It's not like you're just going to run it forever. If there's bug fixes and stuff, sometimes you're going to have to adapt and make changes that you didn't really have control over. If someone decides the next version, Freqtrade version 3 or whatever, does things this way and you want to upgrade and keep it maintained, you're going to have to make changes on your end. A final reason is just fear of abandonment, right? And so you're worried you're going to invest all this time into one of these frameworks. For instance, Backtrader is a good example here of where it was strong, had a great community, but it's mainly reliant on one superhero person, this guy that wrote Backtrader. But as soon as he gets bored and needs to do something else, maybe he has a great career opportunity or starts his own company, he doesn't have time to maintain this framework, or any number of these authors might move on and do something else in their life. And if you don't know what you're doing and you're relying on this framework and it's been abandoned, then you're not going to get that maintenance, and you might have to go back to knowing how to do things yourself. The final aspect of these different trading frameworks I want to discuss is just a quick comparison and contrast of when you'd want to use a commercial trading framework that you pay money for by the month and using something that's completely free and open source. So obviously one of the main benefits of using a commercial solution like QuantConnect is you're going to get probably better documentation and tutorials, primarily due to the fact that there are financial incentives, right? So if thousands of people or millions of people are using their product and they're paying $10, $100 a month, they're accumulating lots of money and they can hire staff, and that paid staff is financially incentivized to maintain documentation, to improve the system, to fix bugs and all that stuff. And when it's just a free open source thing, I've run open source projects a long time ago and people complained about things and, reported bugs, but, I had moved on to something else and didn't really have time to maintain it. Whereas if someone's salary is on the line, the company's profitability is on the line, then they're going to probably have to fix things. Otherwise, their customers are going to cancel. Another benefit to these commercial solutions is that they often come with different data bundles. So if you're trading cryptocurrency, for instance, it's probably pretty easy to get free crypto historical data and real-time WebSocket data. But if you're trading stocks and options, it's oftentimes you have to pay a lot of money to get detailed historical stock data or options data or real-time WebSockets of price data for each of these. And so if you sign up for a monthly fee, a lot of times with these solutions like QuantConnect, you get a cloud to deploy your strategy to, and also you get a data bundle that they claim has very high quality. And now it's not all sunshine and roses, even though these are commercial solutions and there's lots of money on the line. These companies do make big mistakes. You've seen Robinhood make big mistakes. You've seen some of these other solutions go down for periods of time. There's just regular people, even though they get paid a salary, they make mistakes all the time. I also mentioned understaffed and underfunding. I don't know all the financial details of all of these companies, but some of them are still just startups or have been running a number of years. And you can see they haven't raised like hundreds of millions of dollars. Their valuations are still quite low. So there's still some risks they could be shut down, in my opinion. The cons are obviously also monthly fees, so you're going to pay for it every single month. It's not just free. Another possible concern is vendor lock-in and intellectual property. So anytime you're using a cloud solution, maybe you invested your whole business on that. Let's say you put your whole business on QuantConnect or some other service and they change or get shut down, basically your whole business is gone as well, right? And even if maybe you can run it on your own server, it's not maintained anymore. So, there's some concern that there's a lack of flexibility because everything you've written is designed on this one system. Same as if you use, AWS or Google Cloud, the deeper you get into there, the harder it is to get out. Finally, I wanted to give some pros and cons of using a free and open source framework. So the pros are obviously it's free, right? We all like saving money, so it's nice to be able to experiment and try these different things without spending any money. Also, there's a certain amount of transparency, so you can see what's going on behind the scenes. You can go to GitHub, see all the source code available. You can see the commits. You can see how the framework is evolving over the time. And there's also built in with that a nice community, and there's other people that you can discuss with it, and you can give some feedback. You can submit your own pull request and contribute to the framework. Let's say you don't like something or you want to change something. With open source, you can make changes yourself. You can propose changes, report bugs, that sort of thing. Get involved in developing the software yourself. The cons are, as I mentioned earlier, you might have to pay extra for data because they're not just going to give you, it's just a collection of volunteers. They're not going to give you all this free data. No one's paying for that. They don't have any financial incentives, obviously. So someone can abandon a project and not maintain it because, it's not really their full-time job. It's not going to pay the bills. And also is often the case is they often have a poor documentation as a result because a lot of people just want to write code and they don't want to write documentation, and it's just something you got to deal with. So that's my overview of what I'm going to be discussing over the next couple months. I'm going to be diving into all these different frameworks and discussing their pros and cons and showing you how to set up each one of them, and you can decide for yourself what you wanted to use. And finally, if anyone cares about my personal life, I don't like to share too much because it's kind of weird, but I was traveling. If you are curious where I was, I did this trip around parts of Europe. So London, Paris, Nantes, Bordeaux, Porto, Lisbon, Seville, Madrid, Valencia, Barcelona. Amazing trip. We don't always have opportunities to do lengthy trips like this, so I had to take advantage of it while I could. Here's a few pictures, blah, 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 all over the place in all these different cities. So really love Europe, planning on going back soon. And I got to go to the Primavera Sound Festival in Barcelona and saw Gorillaz, Khruangbin, Mos Def, Karen O of the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Meg the Stallion, Run the Jewels, Tame Impala, and the new Radiohead side project, Johnny Greenwood and Tom York doing The Smile. And yeah, lots of cool experiences all over Spain and France and Portugal and also London, and amazing places. It makes me want to move to Europe. So yeah, that's it for now. Thanks everyone for watching, and thanks for being patient as I prepare this new set of content. I'll have a lot to discuss in the months of July and August. So stay tuned for the next video, and I'll be talking about Freqtrade. Thanks.